I got it. I'll take one. No, long script today.
Long
Kind of.
script?
Because of
Oh.
the Ask Jennie.
Ooh.
Pardon me?
Oh, yeah, because there's like a whole conversation at the bottom.
Should have been.
Our place, where we can dream and share it. Our place, we'll find a friend to care
We
it.
are Our Place Out Loud. We are that friend who cares. Collectively, I'm Louise Planker, your lovely and captivating host, here in the studio with a panel of wise and delightful teenagers. We've got Jake, Maddie, Ryan, Keo, Olivia, and over here on the other side of the room, please pan with your camera, your magic camera, Jakey. We've got Rory and Emma, and we've got Trish, Howard, Matt. We've got Justin. Other people may walk in. I'll introduce them as they come. We're here to talk about all things teen. So if you've got teen issues, or if you know of a teen who's got teen issues, give us a call, 888-531-7171. We're going to open up the show with shout-outs, Ryan.
All
You
right.
know, we are based in an app called Our Place, which you can find in the iTunes App Store. So before the show, we always ask the kids if they want a shout-out, and Ryan collects those shout-outs. Go, Ryan.
Yeah, I got that. All right, so we got Awesome Pizza, Sports Rules, Super Pandas, the Doctor from Doctor Who, apparently, Cats Go Raw, Smiley Face 000, Hanny Brownie, Mighty Kig, Pie Face 01, Miss Jordan, Chris Colfer, GK Go 14, GK Go 4, Smiley Face again, and then GK Go 4 again.
Okay. I think it's good when they give themselves numbers, even though they're the only person with that name. So, just in case other people with that name come along.
Well, she corrected me because I always say GK Go 14 because I'm reading it so fast, and I guess like the L and
the
one,
L
and
makes
it
look
14
like it's
to me.
very deceptive.
But she corrected me this time, so
But,
yeah.
you know, she's the fourth GK girl, and I don't know what happened to the first three, but they weren't as good. They were defective, and we had to, issue new models. So there's a lot going on in the world. You may have noticed, like in the app that we gave Jenny her own section. Olivia, have you yet learned how to operate the app, or is that still above your? Okay. Is there remedial?
I actually can't figure it out, and I've sat down and I've given it time and I've been taught. There are just so many little compartments. I
So
don't get
click
it.
on them and see what they do, and then click back.
No, I do.
It will
and
take you back a screen.
I just don't get
It's
it.
just like the internet. There's a screen that you can go deeper and then deeper, and you can back your way out. It's just like caves and the internet and life.
It's one of those things where you just like fool around until you figure it out.
Yeah, you don't give up. And you don't throw up your hands and go, in my day, there was just a long conversation that went on, and people didn't, tap on things. You just read it, and it was better. Damn it. You don't want to become that person at 18. If you're not that person, then you come in here next week having mastered Our Place. Yeah, app
Okay,
ready.
then do you want to write my 6-page essay for me?
No.
Okay.
I think you can do both. Hi, Jolene. See, I told you I'd name people as they walked in. All right, so let's dip into the old bag of questions, or the new bag of questions, and we'll delve into what Olivia's been missing. If she were reading the app, she would know some of this stuff. And P.S. shortcut, just go straight to chat. Just go straight to chat headquarters. Don't read anything else. Just read chat headquarters. Well, advice has subcategories, and they seem to confuse her. So, Anonymous writes, when I first met my stepmom last year, we got along so well, and still do. The thing is, her and my dad live about 8 hours away from me, so I see them every couple of months. But my mom is so jealous. She talks bad about them, and I like my stepmom so much more than my real mom. Is that all right? So can anyone identify with this situation? She's got a mom who's bitter and angry and nasty, and probably the reason her dad got a divorce in the first place. Not to, overly assess the situation when I know nothing, but when the kid likes the stepmom, to me that means stepmom's a good peeps. Go ahead, Ryan.
Well, yeah, I would agree with that, and I can't really relate to the situation of liking my step whatever more than my actual parent. But
you better not live on this show if you want to go home.
Exactly.
Phone call, Howard.
But I was just gonna say that I think it's totally all right to get along better and enjoy your time better with someone else than your mom. even if that is your stepmom, and just continue to be like friendly and I guess good friends with your stepmom. But make sure that you still show your mom the love and respect she deserves for raising you and being your mom. And then the other part about that is like nothing I think could like be more of a deeper thing, like, that could hurt your mom if you're arguing and you said something like, well, I like my stepmom better than you. I think that would really, really, really hurt your mom, and it's just something you want to totally stay away from. So you can have those feelings inside of you, but make sure you don't express them to either your stepmom and your mom. And as for the bitterness, that's just, I don't know, that might just be who she is.
Yeah. Maddie?
I mean, it's perfectly normal to like someone who's sweet and nice instead of someone who's a little bit bitter and jealous.
Mm-hmm.
So, if that's what you're wondering, yes, it is completely normal to, like someone who's nicer.
Right. And I would agree with Ryan that you need to keep it under the radar when you're at your mom's house, because it just adds fuel to the fire if you're like, why can't you be more like my stepmom?
Well,
don't hit me.
Even if you're with your dad, I'd keep it under the radar too, because if you tell your stepmom, like, oh, I like you better than my real mom, that could also fuel the fire.
You don't have to say that exactly, but you can let your stepmom know that she's doing a great job as a stepmom, and that you feel close to her, and she's made you feel warm and welcome. And
I love spending time with you.
Yeah,
it's great.
exactly.
Yeah, or whatever you say.
Liv.
Would it be bad to tell her dad and her stepmom and ask to be there? I mean, is that a terrible thing?
No, not at all.
So, okay.
You can definitely put in a request for that. It just depends on a lot of complicated adult legal custody things.
Right. No, I know that, but I mean, I don't understand the whole,
Mom's getting priority kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if she's not great.
Right. Jakey.
When you're dealing with like how much you love a person, it's usually not good to. You can think this, but it's better not to say best or better than or compare the two like that. You can say to the person that you like a lot, that you love a lot more, that you love them, that they're doing awesome, but you don't ever compare them. That just makes things weird.
Yeah.
Like you never tell my sister that I'm your favorite aunt. Kyo.
I'm just gonna mention that she says she sees her dad and her stepmom every couple of months. So I mean, it might not be the case, but when you don't see someone that often, you don't necessarily see all the bad sides.
Oh, good point.
With someone, like,
they get your good stuff, and you get their good stuff and everything. Ryan? Oh, you held up a card that said Ryan. I totally blame Trish on this. There's someone on the phone.
I love talking, though.
I know you're good, and you're excellent. Who's on the phone?
Jacob's on the line.
Hello, Jacob.
Hello.
Hi. To what do we owe the honor of this phone call from you, Jacob?
Sorry?
Oh, we were just asking you why you called. In fancy speech.
I'm calling because there's this girl that I've liked for a really, really, really long time.
Okay.
And I just found out that her boyfriend's cheating on her. And I just want her to be as happy as she can be. And I know that if I told her, she'd be heartbroken because they've been together for so long, and I don't know if I should tell her or not. I'm
going to say no, because I don't want you to be the bearer of bad news. If things are going to work out between the two of you, she needs to find out from another source. If she looks at you and sees that you are the person who delivered a painful message, you don't want to start your relationship off on that foot. And I know you want what's best for her, but you also want what's best for you, which right now you want her. And so let's focus on what you want, and let's focus on getting it in a way that's good and pure. Go ahead, Olivia.
But if she later finds out that he knew and
it's not his message to deliver. I don't think it's his message to deliver. I beg to differ with you.
I mean, I'm just saying maybe you should go to him and say that you know what's up and that he should tell her. Because, you can't not tell her.
That sticks
you
him.
Can't not tell her.
That sticks him in the middle of it. Let's get some other opinions that remind me or that help me understand that Olivia's wrong. No, it's good to get different points of view because that's Olivia's point of view. Go ahead, Ryan.
Well, this is, I would tell her personally, but I think, we've got 4 girls on the panel, including you, Izzy. But, I think it's an important, why don't, would you like it if someone told you that type of thing? You know what I mean? And then how would you...
Don't you think that, see, Olivia, the reason I disagree with you is I think the truth has a way of surfacing, on its own, of its own kind of, energy.
It was me. I was that girl.
Yeah.
And someone had to tell me, and it wasn't either of the people who...
But was it someone who liked you and wanted to date you?
It was my best friend, and I don't care who it came from. I wanted to know that information.
Right,
so you
but
do want to know that
she
information.
might think
from
he's
no matter who
lying
it
just
is.
because he wants to date her. It gets really complicated when it's the person who wants to date you who tells you. Jakey.
Yeah.
1 second.
Yeah.
If you know, other people already know, which means that it's only a matter of time before high school does what high school does, which is information just kind of goes everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So you should probably tell him that the word is out and say that he has a very small and increasingly constantly decreasing amount of time to be the better person here before high school just lets everyone know.
That's a good point.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I understand completely.
Okay, CO.
Right.
We're getting some more opinions here for you, Jacob.
Okay, I think that you should let her find out, like, not from you. And if she finds out that you knew and says, oh, well, why didn't you tell me? Be like, just tell her that, you know, you didn't want it to get complicated. You didn't want her to think you were lying because you wanted to go out with her.
That's true.
I mean, that's what I would say. Or just be completely honest, I'd say.
Say, you know, I respect you so much. I didn't want to be the person to tell you something that was going to make you cry because I don't want to ever be that person in your life. Maddie?
I'm going to agree with Olivia. I mean, if my boyfriend was cheating on me, I would want, you know, the first person who knows and, you know, is bold enough to tell me, I would want them to tell me because I would want to know. That's why I agree with Olivia, because it wouldn't affect my opinion of the person who told me. And actually, I think that I'd be thankful towards them for telling me so that, because, I mean, I'd rather not find out, like, through a grapevine rather than someone just tell me right out.
Let me ask Jacob a question real quick. Is there some other way that she could get this news other than from you right now?
Well, in my grade, rumors do spread pretty quickly. So there's probably other people that know. So she'll probably get told by someone else sooner or later. But I'm not sure if anyone knows yet.
Is it a rumor or is it truth, do you think?
I saw it happen, and it's been a rumor for a little while. But
Okay, no,
So
then you need to tell her.
Then
you
tell
need
her.
to tell her.
Yeah.
You need, just, no.
But how should he say it?
Here's the thing, though. If you tell her...
This is Rory. Wait, is Rory on?
No, Mike.
1 second.
I got no mic, Jacob.
Go ahead, Rory.
All right, it's working now, Jacob. Here's the thing I would say. If you're going to tell her, you got to have zero expectations romantically is the only thing. If you tell her, you got to be telling her as a friend solely. Because if you have expectations, and that seems like you're using that info, and that could backfire on you. So I would say, if you do tell her as a friend. Otherwise, if you have like a best friend, you can always tell your best friend to tell her. That could work too. Or her best, or you could tell her best friend. That's also a great one.
And what is your relationship with her like? I mean, is there romantic potential?
Well, with her, because she's always known that I've cared about her, so I actually got her the date with this guy because I wanted her to be happy. So we have a pretty good relationship as friends, but it's still a little awkward because she knows about my feelings for her.
She knows about your feelings for her. Okay. I think it's good for her to find out, this is my opinion, for her to find out within a week, as she will, in middle school or high school, whatever you are in, and then say, do you want to talk? And be the shoulder for her to cry on rather than the bearer of this news. That is my advice. I know the panel doesn't all agree with me. Ryan?
I think there's like a lot of good ideas floating around that can be combined really well. Like Jake brought up a really good point that we didn't elaborate on much, which is that you can tell him and just be like, you know, I saw this happen. I know this is happening. You know, and that gives him a short window to do something about it, and you can do that, and then see what happens from there. And if he chooses to say something on his own, that's probably the best option is to have him speak up. But because that's probably not likely, assuming it has nothing or continues to keep it a secret, then you can go up and preface it with something that, you know, I know this is going to be hard to believe, or I don't want to be the person who has to bear harsh truth or harsh reality, but this is what I saw happen. You know, and I'm sorry or whatever.
Nettie.
I have to go.
Oh, you have to go. Okay, Jacob, take off. Get some sleep and let us know how it works out, okay?
All right.
And thank you for sharing this with us. I think it was really helpful for a lot of people. 888-531-7171. A question from Like a Boss, we're a big fan of Like a Boss in the app. In your opinion, what is the best way to get a girl that you are friends with to possibly want to date you? Sounds like that's kind of the same situation that Jacob is having. What is the best way to get a girl that you're friends with to date you? I'm just going to throw it to the panel. I have some thoughts on this, but I want to hear what you guys have to say. Olivia.
Ask her. I mean, you're already friends. That means you have, you know, things in common, and that could work. And you won't know until you ask.
And in addition to asking, I'm going to recommend really be a gentleman. Be someone who listens, who cares about what she's up against, who cares about her day, who asks a follow-up question. Do you guys know what a follow-up question is? Follow-up question is like, let's say I say to Keo, I say, well, how's the cello going? And he says, pretty good. And then I say, did you learn that one piece by Schubert? Because I saw you practicing that. And that's a follow-up question where you really know the person. You don't just know they play cello. You know what piece they're working on. And those are follow-up questions that really show, like, I care about you in this world. Be that guy. Not just a friend, but be the guy that if anything's happening, she knows she can come to you and you're not going to go, yeah, and then run off and show off with your friends or something like that. Ryan.
Just going to say, speaking of that, nothing bothers me more than when you ask someone a question, like, to try and spark a conversation or like at least show that you care, and you're like, hey, whatever those questions were, and then they just say, like, they just answer and they don't respond. Like, they answer, but they don't continue the conversation. And it's not that they don't want to have a conversation. Like, obviously that's a different scenario. But then it's just like an awkward silence, and it's like, well, maybe you should try doing some talking too,
Right. And they may want to, but they're like, what do I say? What do I say? What
exactly.
do I say?
And then as for
in
like
3 different octaves.
Exactly. Or maybe they have some people behind them saying
they have the chorus of
exactly.
What do I say? What do I say? Which is Jake's favorite part of the Oscars was the chorus singing something else, but something similar that people think but don't usually sing about boobs. Okay. Maddie.
Just make sure that you have like a distinct difference between, what you're asking to, I guess, have a romantic relationship rather than just be better friends or, get to know her better, because there could be some confusion with what you're asking.
Yeah, but I think that as kids grow up, when they start to really think about romance, they really start to think about, if they're healthy, emotionally healthy, they think about who feels like home. Like, who really makes me feel safe?
That's what you think about when you're 30.
Really? You don't think about that in your teens?
No.
Like, who really
My
makes
home
me,
makes
who
me feel
values
home.
in me what I value in myself?
My
Who
house
thinks it's
does.
awesome that I play the cello? Who thinks it's, like, fantastic that
That's not home, though.
Yes, it is. It's someone who celebrates the you-ness of you.
Well,
that's home.
That's different than feels like home.
Well, you're not going to date your brother, but I'm trying to say... Ryan, does anyone understand what I'm trying to say? Or
yes, I see what you're saying, but no, I don't think that starts at this early of an age, even for, like, my age. Like, it's something that you begin thinking about, like, who do I have things in common with, but not to the point where who feels like home and who really deeply cares about everything and anything that I do. Because, I mean, finding that perfect match, which many people don't find a perfect match, is, like, one of those things that takes a long, long time. And when you're 15, 16, 17, or whatever age you might be, I don't think it's expected. And
okay, so this is the age of just really talking to boys and girls. All right, we've got a caller. Who's there?
Anna Megas is on the line with a comment and a question.
Okay, so you get to make your comment in under 20 seconds, and then you get to make your question in under 30 seconds. Do you understand, and are you ready to play our game?
Yes, I'm ready to play the game.
Okay, comment.
So, okay, if this is the same question that I heard with the girl liking thingy. Anyway, so if you really want her to, like you or something, I would say just, be her friend. I mean, that sounds really, really common, but just be her friend. Be really nice to her. Be her shoulder to cry on if she has something that's bugging her. Like, get her number and text her and text her and text her and text her and just keep talking about stuff. That's what girls like to do. They talk and they talk and they talk. And it just, you learn a lot really fast.
Just by listening to a girl talk. All right, 27 seconds. That's good. What's your question?
Alrighty, my question. So, well, it's kind of a question. Anyway, so recently I've been feeling, really, really upset because, I'm starting to think that Zach doesn't even really care anymore. Probably even forgot. And so I was getting, super upset. And so this is even what I wrote. And it's, slowly falling down a hole of hopelessness, knowing that you will never be loved back by that one special person, where the air is thick and foggy and filled with smell of that one person, and time melts into centuries, and you want to cry, but you can't because you're trying to be strong for no one in particular, just to prove to yourself that you have the emotional capacity, and in a word, misery. That was what I kind of wrote in my journal, and it was, really horrible because I was, really upset. And
I
it's
think
kind of gotten to the
you
point
are
where
a
I'm like, okay, he doesn't even care anymore, and
well,
it's really sad.
I don't know if he cares or he doesn't care. He's like a teenage boy, but you are a beautiful writer, and that was really eloquent, lovely. I just loved it. Ryan's going to say something to you.
Couple things. First, being that I just want to say that it is really great that you use whether it be the journal in the app or like an actual journal, because I think that really helps anyone who has anything to express. But also, I mean, yeah, obviously you have strong feelings because it compelled you to write something that was that beautiful. But I think that for the way I think you should look at it as if you're right that he doesn't care anymore, I think you have to look at it from the perspective of if you weren't if you cared so much and he wasn't caring for you, it wouldn't even be right. It wouldn't feel right anyways. And so there's going to be someone out there who will care back for you the same way you care for them, and that's the right person.
Right. When it matches up, you just go, oh, it's supposed to be like this. It's really kind of a revelation.
And you'll know.
Because you're trying and trying and trying and trying for like most of your life, and all of a sudden you connect and you go, oh my gosh, it's supposed to be like this. I get it.
And it was like,
wait,
and
go
it
ahead.
was like super horrible too, because I found out that Gavin's got a new girlfriend, and I really don't care about that because, but I feel really bad for her because I know the same thing's going to happen to her that happened to me. And it turns out that he didn't even care the entire time. He didn't even like me, so I have no idea why he would even use me for something like that.
Why are
anyway.
you still thinking about him then?
She's always been thinking about these two boys back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
We're
gonna let you go right now so that the phone is free to ring.
But listen to my.
But listen to what Sio has to say to you, Animagus. We love you. Okay, go ahead, Sio.
Okay, I was just gonna say that I don't think there's one perfect match. I think that there's multiple people that you are well matched to in the world, because I think there's way too many people for one person just to have one person. So I don't think it's a hopeless cause if you lost one of those, and
especially at your age.
Yeah,
because no one's running off and getting married.
And you change too. It's like people change.
Yes, exactly.
Well, some people might be.
We are Our Place Out Loud. 888-531-7171. Animal Lover writes, I feel like when God made me, he accidentally put me into a human body instead of in an animal's, because I feel so connected to animals. It's like they can understand me. It would help a lot if you could tell me why. Do you guys think it's possible that she was supposed to be in an animal's body, or is she just so disenfranchised with her life that she feels like she'd be better off connecting with animals who never judge? Let's start with Olivia.
Okay, so sometimes I feel this way. Not always, though. It's not a thing where I think I'm supposed to be a fish. But my friend Emily's dog and I are the same person. It's weird. We just have it's a dog, but we have the same exact mannerisms. It's weird, but that's not the point. I mean, I think you need to get involved in certain things at school. Maybe like an animal lovers club, and connect to people, because that's going to matter later on, because you're going to have to talk to people when you need a job and stuff.
People really do matter, and there are some people that you're going to connect with, and you could also devote your life to helping animals, and that would make you feel really fulfilled. Ryan?
Well, one of those, the question of am I in the wrong body type of thing, I guess, is something. It's one of those really deep questions that I try and stay away from in terms of thinking about whether or not it's even possible. Just kind of what is the meaning of life questions. I avoid those. But I would definitely say that the reason that people say a dog is a man's best friend is because animals don't judge, and because it's so great and easy to just have an animal that just loves you, like my dog and I are just best friends. And I can do anything, and she won't judge me. She's great, and it feels great. And so it's just I don't know. I think that was really I don't know. But I think it's just great sometimes to have someone or something that you can connect with. And if that's an animal, then then I think you can still connect with people, and that I think you can still connect with people.
Maddie,
use that connection that you feel like you have with animals to connect with other people who feel the same way. Did you guys hear that or no?
Do you hear in your headphones how much better it sounds when your voice is in front of the mic rather than on the side of the mic?
A little bit, yeah.
Because I heard it distinctly. We're trying to teach the kids mic control,
Sorry,
technique.
Guys.
Yeah, Put you're still on the side of it. Yeah, move it. There you go.
Hi.
That sounds awesome. Kyo.
Whether or not you were supposed to be in an animal's body, you are in a human's body.
Right.
And we don't have the technology to turn you into a dog
Wouldn't
or something
it be cool
yet.
if we did, though?
Oh, I'd be
Wasn't
so
there
sad.
a Disney movie where their dad turned into a dog?
Probably.
Shaggy
Yes.
Shaggy.
The Shaggy dog, yeah.
But-
with the Tim Allen.
Tim Allen.
But anyway,
Or Fred McMurray. or Dean Jones.
Seeing
Dean
as
Jones.
this isn't a Disney movie,
right?
Life is not a Disney movie.
It's cool that
Yes,
between
it is.
Trish and I, we got out the words Dean and Jones.
Yeah.
It took two people to say the name of the actor who
It
was in
is-
100 Disney movies. Go ahead.
it is important to get along with other humans, and I mean, it's gives you as a human a more fulfilling life. So
Right, you
that's
can't just
something you
sign
wanna
off
do.
and say like, yeah, guess who was supposed to be an animal, so screw everybody.
Right.
Well, wait. There are furries.
Oh no, you're not going into furries, are you? Is this the direction we're going?
You
Is
dress
this
up as an
honestly
animal
the
and that's your
direction we're
life.
going? Rory, help me.
I know one.
You're my intern.
I think she's trying to say there's hope for you. Yes.
Okay, so furries are people that enjoy dressing up in furry animal costumes
And then they get together.
and getting together.
And then they post it on Facebook, and that's all they post.
real
That's
fur,
all
because
they
that's
put.
not very animal.
No, it's like a mascot costume.
You know, my
Kia.
best friend in high school, Mike, used to tell people that when he was older and he grew up, he wanted to be a fire truck. So
Oh god.
I don't know.
Maybe
If,
he was.
Is he
maybe-
okay?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he a fire truck?
no, he's a chef now. You get older and things
Yeah,
change.
things
Like you have a
change.
mortgage. So
All right, we're going to move on to the next question, Ryan. Hold that
right,
thought.
right.
888-531-7171. L writes, since we were 9, me and Emma. Is this anyone you know?
No.
Okay, that's what she's testifying to. All right, have been best friends. We're 13 now, and last September we made a friend called Amber, who we got really close to. Now I feel like Amber and Emma are closer to each other than I am to any of them, and they're trying to push me away. I'm probably just paranoid. I don't know. I get this kind of friend triangle question a lot. I'm going to throw it to Maddie first of all. I think it's a real common one. Go ahead, Maddie.
So this happened to me in 5th grade. Me and a friend were friends, and then we became friends with another person, and then I felt really left out because I would always see them having lunch together, and then I would ask them to meet somewhere, and then they would just be somewhere else without me, and I'd be really confused.
Hate
So I kind of asked them, so like, you know, because I was in 5th grade, so I was a little younger, so I was like, do you guys still want to be my friend? And they're like, yeah, why? And I was like, well, I feel like you're kind of pushing me out, like I feel really like alone from your group. And they're like, that's totally not what's happening, that's how you're feeling, oops, by accident, sorry. And then that kind of fixed it.
So you think just saying something and being honest is a good idea?
Yeah, definitely.
Ryan?
Yeah, I've been in this situation a couple times, but like kind of right now, I guess. But like, I have this friend who we call Matpat, but we made like
Jake just sang his name.
no, that's you have to say Matpat. Like it's everyone calls him
I guess
Matpat.
he's the stuff of legend.
He really is.
Okay, go ahead.
The Matpat. No, but so Matpat and I are like we were really close friends for a while, and we met in 6th grade, and then like once we got to high school, like we both started making a lot of friends, but like I don't know. I feel like my friend group includes him more than like my friend group that isn't particularly friends with him includes him more than his friend group that's not particularly friends with me includes me. If that makes any sense.
No fair.
And so
I get it.
yeah, and so I mean, like I just went up to him like a couple months ago because I mean I guess I'm not going through it now. And I went up to him a couple months ago and I was like, hey, I mean, did I do something that's bothering you, or you know, are we just not that close anymore, or what? And he's like, oh yeah, no, sorry, I don't know, I've been caught up in a lot of stuff lately, and I've been spending more time with these people, getting to know them better. But yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, you want to hang out this weekend? And it was like problem solved.
Very cool, Jakey.
I have the exact same story with the exact same Matpat.
It happens a lot with Matpat.
He's just too nice to not like you.
Everyone's friends with him. That's
Yeah.
the issue.
Yeah, that's kind of the issue. But if you're friends with them and you were friends with them, you will continue to be friends with them. One other person isn't going to ruin this whole thing, right?
Exactly. So he's the person that when you say something like that to him, he responds favorably, like, "Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I have no idea you were feeling that way, Olivia."
I agree. Just talk it out, and it will happen. But I say we get rid of this Matpat person.
No, Matpat. No. I love Matpat.
Matbat's awesome. What are you talking about?
Matpat
'cause
is
then
the
no one
stuff
would have
of
issues.
legend.
He'd hang out with Elle. He would like her.
He has so many friends.
Jake
He's
just
the
said he
stuff of
likes
legend.
everyone. Keo.
I can't imagine any friend that still wants to be your friend if you talk to them about this. You're like, I feel like I've been being left out. Them being like, what?
Exactly.
I can't believe you would think that. You know what? I don't want to be your friend anymore. Like,
Exactly.
Actually, I think that's a good idea.
no friend is gonna do that who still wants to be your friend.
Right. They'd be like, "Oh my God, I didn't know I was hurting you. I would fix that right now."
And I mean, if they don't want to be your friend anymore, then they already don't. They just haven't said anything.
But the thing is, you have to say it in a way that was kind of like what the way Ryan said and the way Maddie said it, which was like non-confrontational.
Right,
like
of
you,
course.
you can't start with you always, because then people will
'Cause
get
then they'll
defensive. You
feel
don't want to make
attacked.
people defensive. You want to help solve the problem, not aggravate the problem. Sio.
Okay, what I said one time, you reminded me. One of my best friends, like, we don't always hang out because we get really, really mad at each other.
Okay.
So mad at each other. But we're really alike. I think that's why. But, like, so I wanted to hang out with her, but I didn't know if she wanted to hang out with me because she doesn't really make that so known. So I asked, I said...
Clear.
Okay.
Yeah, clear. And then I said, would it bother you if I just followed you around everywhere? And she said no, so I did. And so no, like you know, like what if like she wanted to not hang out with me? This was before, like, we weren't such good
Is
friends.
there
and
documentation that you're from Earth?
Basically, she was asking, is it okay if I follow you around everywhere? And then the friend was like, yeah, that's fine. I don't
Okay,
care.
you can shadow me.
No, she was like, yeah, I don't mind having you around. But, like, if she would have said, like, I guess, if she would
Then
have
you
said that,
wouldn't.
but she wouldn't have said like, because she doesn't, use
say
that
like.
word.
Right. Okay, did you have a point, Jake?
She uses that word in a right context.
I don't know how this works with girls, but with guys, if someone doesn't want to be your friend, they kind of make it rather obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan is shaking
are
his head. So
weapons
hold on,
involved?
changing camera. Ryan, do that head motion again.
Okay, Ryan.
I was gonna say a couple things. One, what you were saying, like, I don't know. If someone asked me, even if they were my close friend, if they could follow me around everywhere, I'd probably say no. Just I don't want someone following me around everywhere. Like Jake couldn't follow me around anywhere. You know, it's just like. So there's that. Also, I don't recommend asking people if you can follow them around anywhere.
It works for CO because she's so COS.
Okay, yeah, but if you're not COS, don't try it. If you are, then I mean you're good to go. You're set. But no, but what Jake was saying is, yeah, if you don't like someone and you're a guy, we make that pretty clear. So I mean, like sometimes you're confused as to whether or not you're like friends with someone or just friendly. But there's never a question as to if someone dislikes you or not.
With girls, we don't make it clear.
Oh
No.
I mean,
Because on any given day, we don't know.
there's this kid who we'll call T for now. But I really dislike his morals and ethics that he presents to people.
Right.
And he'll like talk to me, and I'll just like turn and walk away blatantly
Without even saying.
And then I'll be like, dude, what? And I'll be like, yeah, I know, I don't want to talk to you. And like,
Stop it, Jakey.
Yes.
We're not naming people. Okay. We
And
are
Jake
Our
does
Place
that
Out
too.
Loud. I am Louise Planker here with a panel of teams. We've got Jake, Maddie, we've got Ryan, we've got Keo, we've got Sio, we've got Olivia, and over here we've got Rory. And I don't know, Rory, if you have been wanting to talk more often because I'm used to looking this way. So what you need to do is like run in front of me and just flag me down. 888-531-7171. I'm going to throw to you first on this one. And Emma, you can talk too. Because I know you have thoughts and opinions. Because if you guys have seen the Be Love video, or if you're in the Be Love video, if your artwork or your photograph is in the Be Love video, the vocalist on Be Love is young Emma Bach over here. And if you haven't seen the Be Love video, go to youtube.com/Louise Palanker and watch it. It's excellent. I make really good videos. Sports rule. Who else is going to say it? Maybe my mom. How do you text your crush without being annoying? Because I want to text him, but I don't want to annoy him or text him constantly. Help, super smile. What's that XD? What do you call that one?
It's
Olivia. I call it super smile. Oh, yeah, Rory. Rory, if a girl likes you, can she overtext, or is there such a thing as overtexting if you like her back?
Oh man, this is a lifelong long question.
It's an epic struggle.
It's an epic struggle. There's a balance. I think you gotta do what you want to do. Don't overthink it too much, but at the same time, limitations are good sometimes. You want to let them miss you a little bit too.
Time limitations are good. Like when a person is sleeping, like let a person sleep.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta sometimes read the situation. If they're texting you back a lot, then feel free. But I say try to match the other person's text response.
That's good. You know, because mirroring is good in life in general. Like when you're face to face with someone. When you're face to face with someone, you know, they say that when you're connecting, you kind of start to mirror each other. Like you turn towards each other, or you're you both lean forward or you both lean back, and you're both exactly. So I think with texting, mirroring the
and
style.
handshakes.
Like if you text and you write, "Hey, how's it going?" and he just writes back, "Hey," then stop texting. But if he writes back, "Do you like iguanas?" then you can if they want to have a conversation, they'll let you know. But
try
it's certainly okay to say one or two things via text, like here's a funny picture of a cat, and
yeah, I mean texting sucks.
Well,
Let's be real; it's hard to interpret what anyone feels or thinks or says. So, I mean, don't play it too cool, but you can play a little cool.
Like for me, in my generation, texting is for information. It's for addresses. It's not for communication. Because when my phone rings with a text, I'm just like, oh. Whereas a kid is like, oh. I have the opposite reaction. It's just like something I have to deal with. Whereas kids like, someone wants to talk to me. Woo! So I'm not the person to go to with this question. So that's why, Rory, Emma, what's your texting style? Well, we could all weigh in with our texting style. Me, it's like, don't text me unless it's an address that I need to be at. What's your texting style?
I put the most emotions possible in texting without using smiley faces.
So what would be an example? Do you have the emoticon app?
Do you know those squiggly lines?
I love those.
Those are my favorite things
Aren't
in
they
the
called
entire world.
umlauts, tildes?
Yeah.
Tildes.
What are they called?
Tildes. Tilde.
Seriously?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It probably means something in another language. To us, they're just pretty.
Well, it's what
They're
you
my
put over the
favorite
end to
things.
make an enye in Spanish.
Oh, like so it'd be canyon instead of canon.
Never mind. But I use those all the time.
Yeah, they're great.
Because I'm always really happy, so I always end them with
So, when someone texts you, are you like, oh, I'm going to be talking to this person for a little while, or are you like, okay, answer and then go on with the rest of my day?
It depends on what I'm doing.
Okay, so it depends on what you're doing, but you can always say like
TTY out.
Yeah, I don't even know. Okay, Ryan, texting style.
Well, I was gonna. Can I kind of elaborate on something too?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Also, your thing about iguanas was great, but that really made me happy. But no, what I was going to say is I'm kind of in a similar situation, and I think sometimes you just got to understand the way the person texts and see what you're getting back from them, because I think the first couple times you text someone, you're both going to be fairly upbeat and you're not going to be giving them short one-word answers, and if they continue to do that, they definitely want to keep talking to you, and if it kind of deteriorates from there, I don't think they do. For me, my texting style, don't text me in the last 2 minutes of a basketball game. I won't respond.
Okay.
And I'll stop responding to you if we're having a conversation and it gets the last 2 minutes.
Right.
Don't text me if I'm at a UCLA game.
Right.
Other than that, I mean, I'll text, but sometimes I get really annoyed with it's I'll have a short conversation and it'll be interesting, and then I'll get bored with the conversation and the other person won't be, and I'll be like, yeah, that's cool, but I want to be rude. So I'm like, oh yeah, so how's that going for you? And I just every time I have to pick up my phone, I'm like, it's so much energy to reach over there.
So just go GTG. Then you're done.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, Jake.
Okay. My texting style is if you text me before dinner, I will text you until dinner. If you text me after dinner, I will text you until I go to sleep or the conversation gets too awkward and I have to take a shower, which is I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Oh.
Well, I get that a lot from you. I'm
actually taking a shower at that point.
Oh,
Are you?
I don't know if I believe you.
He does occasionally take showers.
Are you
that
sure?
happens
So
sometimes.
randomly, that's the truth. Olivia.
I mean, I think it's okay to, not over text. If it's hey, and then 5 minutes you didn't get a response, you there? And then another 10 minutes, it's hey, what's up? You there? I texted you. Did you get it? Did you get my message? Did you see it?
Yeah.
I texted you. It says read. Did you read it?
So some people have the setting where they want to know if someone has read their text.
Yeah, no. So don't do that.
And then they get really offended. Do you have the right to be offended if someone has texted, or has read your text and has not responded, or are you allowed to just be busy? Keo.
Well, I was gonna say something else, but I think you have the right to be offended. I mean, you can be offended about whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's just not going to make sense necessarily.
All right. So Jake, do sometimes someone texts you and you don't answer at all?
For me, that's kind of a compliment. It means that they were busy, but they like me so much that they wanted to know what I was saying despite their busyness.
Mhm.
That's at least how I take it. But my phone doesn't show when they read me my messages, which I'm really happy about because that would freak me out. I don't want to know that much about someone. It's kind of creepy.
You know, I don't text you very often, but when I do text you, you have always texted me back. So thank you for not showering when I need, because usually when I text Jake, it's because I need to know something technical. So it's not just like, what are you doing? It's always like, how do I? And he's like, let me check. He's always pretty good with me. I don't know who to go to. Who hasn't talked yet?
I haven't. Me neither.
Ryan, Maddie. I don't know.
It's funny because I have talked. But
yeah, it's always funny if Ryan says I haven't talked.
Well, there's this thing in class right now in humanities, and we're just finishing like ancient Greek and Greece stuff and like Athens and stuff, and we have to choose a person, and I chose to be Socrates because he just asks why and gets really annoying. Figured that like perfectly suits me. But Jake, you guys can't hear Jake, but he said, "You monster! Why would you do that to the world?" I'm just gonna show up to class when my teacher asks me questions about my character. Why?
Emma.
Okay.
Wait. Let Emma talk, and then back to you, Ryan.
That's
no,
Emma,
I'm looking at Maddie, and I'm saying Emma.
Me or Emma.
Two girls the same age randomly. All right, Maddie.
So, I think that getting offended at just like talking about that, like, I would get offended because, like, if I'm sitting right next to my friend and we're both texting the same person,
right,
and they are answering my friend's text,
but not yours,
but not mine, and I can see that they've read it, that's when I get a little offended because I know that they aren't too busy not to text, and if they don't want to talk to me, they could just say gotta go, and I'd be like, okay, maybe they just don't want to talk to me right now. So, but it's like if they just like stop the conversation when I ask them a question or something, and then they're texting my friend, I get a little bit offended.
Yeah, I think that's that. Then it's like you've got a side-by-side comparison.
Like, I'm not planning on doing anything about it, but
I'm
not happy.
But I would just like kind of let it go and like, oh, let those two talk. Theo?
Oh, when people do that to me, I call them.
Show up at their house. Hello. I believe you owe me a message.
It bothers me so much when people like. I'm sitting next to anyways. My texting style is if I want to text you, I'll text. Like, I get really interested in texting when I'm bored. And then I was texting one of my friends. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, nothing, I'm bored. And he got so offended. He was like, you're bored? And that's the only reason you're texting me? I'm like, yeah,
I once got so
offended.
Because my sister and I were growing up together, and I thought we were having a good time sitting on the couch watching an Elvis movie. And the phone rings, and it's a friend of hers, and I hear my sister going, oh, my God, I'm so happy you called. I'm so bored. And I was like, wait a second. We were doing something.
Which sister?
To get Amy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shots fired.
That hurt my feelings. Olivia.
I just want to say it's also totally okay to text first. You're not annoying someone just because you, like, texted them.
Right. It's okay to text.
Unless you are.
It's over texting. It's like repeatedly texting that's annoying.
I feel like you see that they like it's just
They could be with their family. The family could say no texting at dinner or family rules or get a grip or whatever. Q.
I mean, it's basically like when you're talking to someone, except just more difficult to tell when they're annoyed. But like when you're talking to someone, you can tell by what they're saying if it's annoying. Like if they don't want to talk to you, you just need to figure out how to tell that from somebody through text.
Through text, just read between the texty lines. Maddie, we're going to wrap this one up, and maybe you'll have something to say about the next one. But I do want to get to the Ask Jennie section because it's going to be exciting for all of us. 888-531-7171. So we gave Jennie. I forget whose idea it was, but it was a really good idea. So under advice, if you can find it, Olivia, I gave Jennie her own section. So the first thing under advice before romance and friends and peers and all that, it says Ask Jennie with a cool picture of Jennie because Jennie's just been fantastic. She's as good or better than me at giving advice, and she wants to be a therapist when she grows up. And so I thought we would read snippets from the Ask Jennie section and kind of test her wisdom. So Head in the Clouds wrote in the Ask Jennie section, Jennie is a mod in Our Place, the app, by the way, which is a social network for teens and tweens. At Jennie, do you think a 13-year-old should do all these chores? Okay, listen to this, you guys, because I'm exhausted reading this list, okay? Make bed every day, put all clothes away. I'm blocking my camera? Okay. It's kind of small text, so I have to put it close to my... Do you think a 13-year-old should have to do all these chores? Make bed every day, put all clothes away, iron all of the family's clothes, unload and load dishwasher every day, make about 20 cups of tea for mom and dad every day, clean upstairs and downstairs bathroom every other week, clean out hamster cage every week, put guinea pigs out, which are not even my guinea pigs, tidy up the house each week, hoover the house each week. That sounds exhausting right there. I don't get pocket money for this, just money to get to the bus and to and from school, plus all my homework and schoolwork. Do you think this is fair?
Are you Cinderella?
I mean, I thought it was fair up to the point of making 20 cups of tea. Like, make your own freaking tea, Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
I'm not your servant. I'll do chores, but that's freaking servant work. Olivia.
It depends how many other kids there are. Do you know what I mean? Like, if this is something that can be divided, then the parent should be dividing it.
Yeah.
No matter how young you are, you should, if you have a pet, you need to take care of them.
And it also depends on whether or not Mom and Dad both have a full-time job.
Right.
Because if they do, then why do they need 20 cups of tea while they're home?
Exactly.
That would be my question. And everything sounded like a lot of chores, but once you got to the tea, I was just like, whoa, what's happening, Cinderella? Yeah, exactly. Ryan.
I was just glancing through Jenny's response as we were talking about this.
Oh, yeah, Jenny has a good...
You
can read Jenny's
response.
response.
I'll read the response and then I'll say what I was going to say about it. So Jenny responds, "It's not my place to say, really. Different families have different rules, and apart from when they're abusive, other people don't really get a say in what your family chooses to do. Everyone has things to do in their own household, though, not necessarily the same things in each family. I would say it's only unfair if it leaves you with absolutely no free time or no time to get your schoolwork done. If that's the case, then you should try and talk to your parents and figure out some kind of compromise. Maybe if you do less chores during the week, then you'll do more on the weekend or vice versa. But otherwise, you've just got to do that. You've just got to do your chores, basically. I don't mean to sound like an adult here, but you'll have to do more than that when you actually live on your own." And so the point of that just like at first I was like, oh yeah, that's good advice. And also when I was reading the list of chores, I was like, wow, that's a lot of chores. And then I guess it depends on your scenario. But when Jenny said that you'll have to do more than that when you're an adult and living on your own, I was like, oh shoot, she's right. Because like, I mean, unless you know what I mean, like.
Unless you don't have a hamster.
Right, you got to do all that and then everything else. You still got to cook for yourself. You still got to go to work. You have to still drive yourself back and forth from home. And when you have young kids, you have to drive them places. You know what I mean?
But you know what? I had really good advice, not to like one-up Jenny, but to one-up Jenny. I said that if she tells her parents, like, look, if I have more time to get my schoolwork done, then I'm going to be able to go to college and get a better job and support you better in your old age than I'm going to be able to do in my minimum wage job, which I'm going to get if you make me continue making you tea because I'm not getting my homework done. Olivia.
I kind of went through this when I was living in Emerson over the summer because there were these suites and then there were rooms within the suites. So there were 2 people to a room, 4 people to a suite. And a suite included a bathroom and a shower. So my roommate and I kept our room spotless. Mm-hmm. I mean, we went out on the 3rd day that we were there. We went to CVS and we bought a whole bunch of cleaning supplies and stuff like disinfecting wipes and we kept buying toilet paper and paper towels and stuff, and we kept the room really clean. And I'm sorry, Claire or Jesse, if you're listening to this, but you guys were gross.
Gross.
And like we would clean the common space because we had to use it too. Mm-hmm. But when it came to the shower, and then there were these little itty bitty stickies of hair on the shower wall that was not mine.
I don't know how hair gets up as high as it does in a shower.
Right? And so, we just decided that, maybe they don't have stuff to do at home. I mean, like, I'm
probably not. You're probably right.
So.
Oh, Emma, do you want to say something? Or are you just doing, like, hand puppets?
No, I
okay.
want to say something. I just want to say I make tea, like, every day, all the time.
For other people?
They don't ask for it. I make it for them.
That's really cool.
Like, all the time.
I make them drink it.
I do. And
but
and
true story about Emma, though. She was, like, 5 or 6, and I turned my back on her for 2 seconds, and she had turned on the burner on my stove and was with a fork holding bread over the and she was like, I do this at home all the time. I'm like, well, you're not burning my house down just to make toast on a gas stove. But yeah, she's a self-starter, this one. Sio.
I used to do that with marshmallows because
Okay.
my mom. Yeah,
I still do that
but
with marshmallows.
we don't have marshmallows anymore. They learned.
Well, no, I want to.
Wait.
Well, real quick, because I want to get to this last point, because I think
it's important to do chores because you contribute to the household and your
Right.
parents contribute to the household a lot. And I think it's really good, like, to learn that while you're growing up because
Okay.
it won't be that hard when you're
Yeah,
living on your own.
you're right. It's going to be just like a transition of like, oh, yeah, I can do this. These are all things I can do. I don't feel so scared and alone. All right, so in the Ask Jennie question, I'm sorry, Emma, but I have to move on to this because we've got 12 minutes, 11 minutes. And this one came in to me, and then a similar question came in to Jenny. Kirsten wrote, I can't stop smoking pot. I'm not willing because I like it, but I know it's wrong, so should I stop? Do you have any advice? And then Drummer Boy wrote to Jenny, is it wrong to smoke weed? And a lot of opinions came in, like, because Jenny's been trying to get kids, please don't answer these questions because I can't tell whether or not it's been answered. When I see the number 1 or the number 2 next to it, it looks like I've answered it, but I really click on it and see that it's been you guys, so please don't answer. Let me be the first to answer, because I know that in the dashboard, like Jenny has a dashboard like I have, you see like a little 0, which means no one's answered it yet. So it's hard for her to do her job if other people jump in there. So don't jump in there, please. You can respond to Jenny's response, but let Jenny be the first to answer. David wrote yes, and then he wrote, whoops, sorry, Jenny. And then... And then Cat Up wrote, legally yes, morally no, because alcohol is worth. Both my parents have told me that they have tried pot. And Hamster Lover wrote yes, and meaning it's bad to smoke weed. And then she wrote, oops, sorry, Jenny, I forgot. I was in the Ask Jennie section. And then, hold on, me turning page. Venezuela wrote, no, I don't think it is bad to smoke weed. Smoking weed is legal in California, and they sell weed in weed dispensary stores. I smoke weed, and I don't abuse it, but I smoke it. I guess it all depends. If you are old enough to smoke, that's number 1, and as long as smoking doesn't stop you from going to school or work, and if it's not harming anyone else when you smoke. So now I'm going to hold up on Jenny's answer, because Jenny had an answer that was very different from these, but I wanted to see what you guys, it is kind of a controversial topic, and we know that it's illegal, first of all, but there are people who think that alcohol is worse for you than weed, and I just wanted to hear what you guys had to say about it. Ryan?
Well, like a couple of comments on just like the alcohol being worse than weed. I'm definitely in that boat, and it actually bothers me when my parents say that weed is worse than alcohol, because like I'm like, no, just like science says it's not. And while the lifestyle weed creates may be worse than the lifestyle alcohol creates, alcohol itself is more detrimental to your brain and body, especially as you're like growing. But what I was going to say is that what KDEP 13 said, which is legally yes, morally no, because alcohol is worse. I don't think that just because something's worse is any excuse to do the better thing, even if it's still bad. You know what I mean?
They can both
like,
be bad.
Exactly, and so you should stay away from both. But I think Venezuela's point was good. If you're old enough to do it, and if you're in a state where it is legal, then there's no issue with it. But
the issue for me is that it makes you like incredibly non-productive. So I'm going to come down with Jenny on this one when I get to her answer. But you guys are still in the middle of growing up, and so you may not even be willing to tell me the truth in your answers, and that's fine too. But Rory will tell me the truth because he's already 20. How old are you?
22.
What are your
22?
So what are your thoughts? I'm sure you have friends who smoke a lot of pot, and
Sure.
some friends who don't, and then you somewhere in between, I guess. I don't know. But what are your thoughts on pot?
Like you said, it is starting to become legal in some states. So, I mean, you can, I guess, in those states use the excuse it's not legal anymore. It's not illegal anymore, or it is.
It's legal.
Well, it's legal now. There we go. But I don't know. It's a choice, but I feel like it affects different people differently. Like anything,
Yeah.
there are people who are functioning alcoholics, And I mean, I know a kid I went to high school with, smoked weed every day, went to Harvard. And I know kids who smoked weed every day and never finished community college.
Right.
So I think it really depends on you. I think if you're old enough and you have your stuff together and it's something you choose to do recreationally, I mean, I can't stop you. That's your personal choice.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, when it gets in the way of your life,
Right.
like any bad thing, like alcohol or anything else.
Or coffee.
Or coffee. I don't drink coffee. That's bad for you. Mormons taught me that. Yeah, I think everybody's different. And even prescription drugs, there are plenty of prescription drugs that are just as bad for you. But, I mean,
I think you're
depends.
right. You're right. Every body is different. Every body is different. Like I can have a couple of cups of coffee a day, and I think it helps me focus because I'm kind of ADD. I have friends who are like, no caffeine. I can't handle caffeine, and like that because you have to come to know your body, and coming to know your body means that even if something really feels good, like pot, if you know that like in a month you haven't vacuumed or washed, then that's not a good drug for you. It's not fitting into your lifestyle. Olivia.
Well, the original question,
yes,
said something about like, I know it's wrong and I should stop. Do you have any advice? And I'm like, well, I mean, if you know it's wrong and you should stop, you should, take steps to, achieve that goal. And I mean, maybe one of those things is like telling your parents, because I feel like they can do something.
Some people say that pot isn't addictive, but if you're saying I know it's bad and you're asking me how to stop, then I would say that for you it is addictive. And then your parents, like Olivia, she might be nervous. He or she might be nervous about telling her parents because they may not even know she smokes pot at all. So how do you then go to your parents and say, "I've got"?
Well, if you have an issue, you have to take care of it.
Yeah.
And I just suck it up.
Yeah, suck it up. Kyo.
Whether or not it's wrong, I don't really know. I don't have the authority to say, but I don't think it's good if you're doing anything that you can't that you can't stop doing.
Right.
And anything in excess is it's bad. So
anything in excess is bad.
It doesn't even have to be a drug, but
right, Maddie.
This is more about like telling your parents. So like definitely tell them if you really do want to get help, because your parents are going to be more thankful that you told them and that you want help rather than want to reprimand you for it. Because I think that what parents are worried about, when they're worried that their kids are doing that, is that they're worried that they're not going to be able to help them. Right. So your parents would rather know and have you be asking for help or than not know and find out.
I would say the current generation of kids are probably the offspring of people that 90% of whom have at least tried pot. So they're not going to be like, what? Yeah, it's illegal, but I think a lot of parents today with kids who are about 15 are thinking he's probably tried it. Not you, Jake, but other kids. Ryan?
Of course not Jake.
I was just going to say a couple quick things. The first one being that I think it comes down to a lot of other substances too, and I'm not just saying I think it's about how you manage substances within yourself. And so I know my parents or my mom, I don't really know about my dad. My mom won't drink anything, she won't have any alcohol to drink at all because unless she is already home, because she knows that sometimes she might have to get home and she knows that even just one sip of wine will make her a worse driver.
Yeah.
And some people are functioning alcoholics, in which case it's all right for them, which I disagree because you can't drive under the influence of anything. But and then the other thing about that is I think if I went to my parents and I was like, yeah, look, guys, I've been smoking pot. I'm having a real issue with putting it down, but I want to stop. Rather than being like, oh my God, you're being in so much trouble for this. He'd be like, oh, okay, yeah. So how can we support you? Because we really want to make sure this stops, and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think it really just depends on the person.
Yeah, and a lot of parents are just like, you know what? I'm not having any alcohol whenever there's a kid out of my house because I may get a phone call and have to go get that kid, and that's responsible parenting. And me personally, I've never taken a puff of a cigarette. I think that's Howard's phone. I'd like to make sure that everyone understands it's not my phone. It's Howard's phone. But it could be Dr. Drew, so take that call. I've never taken a puff on a cigarette, let alone a puff on a marijuana cigarette. I'm just not interested in inhaling that crap into my body. That's just me. I didn't judge my friends in college that did pot or whatever, but I certainly didn't hang out with any potheads because they don't get anything done and they're not very interesting and they think they're funny and they're not. I'm going to read Jenny's answer really quickly because we've got 2 more minutes, and then if we have a moment, we'll get to some of your thoughts. But I just wanted to read Jenny's answer because I found it very interesting. Now, Jenny, who's the most productive person ever at the age of 19, kid lives in England, and she's, got her head, very squarely in place, and she's awesome. So this is her answer. I don't like the word wrong, but it's certainly a bad decision. Some people say it's not addictive, but it most definitely is and can take over your life. It reduces the chances of you getting any good education because it ruins your concentration levels or getting a job in the future and can basically mess your life up. Plus, it has negative long-term effects to your health. It is heavily linked to developing psychotic illnesses such as schizophrenia. It makes you paranoid and anxious, can cause infertility, and, of course, as you're smoking, it can cause cancer. So Jenny came down really hard in opposition to pot. Olivia?
It doesn't cause schizophrenia. That it can bring it up. Abusive drugs can bring that up in you, but smoking pot will not make you schizophrenic.
If you weren't going to be that way anyway.
You don't get schizophrenia. You like have it, and it can bring it.
But it does make you paranoid. I've heard it makes you paranoid, right?
I know that's not schizophrenia.
Yeah, no, it's not schizophrenia. I know people who won't smoke because it makes them paranoid, and that's just how it affects them. So I know people who won't smoke because of that.
Okay.
It makes like genetic conditions like paranoia and schizophrenia like surface more.
I see.
Like you have to be careful with that if you have a genetic line in your family.
But it's not going to cause them.
Right.
One point I totally forgot to make when I was speaking earlier is just like, I'll make this really quick because I know we're running short on time, is that whether or not something's wrong because it's legal or okay, illegal or okay because it's legal, like the best thing I can bring up is just like cigarettes, because I did a speech, like a persuasive speech and debate on why cigarettes should not be legal, but they're legal, you know, so just because it's legal doesn't mean that it's a good idea, and just because something's illegal doesn't mean it's particularly a bad idea. But I'd usually say if it's illegal, stay away from it. If it's legal, do some investigation.
Very good. Laws are here to protect us, and usually they're right, sometimes they're not. Like, you know, slavery used to be legal. So always use your own consciousness. And I am Louise Palenka. We are Our Place Out Loud. Thank you for being with us, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Oh, we're okay for this? It's coming back.